Slope. Anytime you see slope, it's nothing but the vertical change divided by the horizontal change. A lot of people know it as rise over run. It's basically the y's over the x's. If you look at a coordinate plane. So for example on this hill, and by the way, anytime I use m, that always refers to slope. So if I ask you to find the slope of this hill, all you're doing is going to use the rise over run. So what's the rise? It's 8 feet. And what's the horizontal run? 15 feet. Which means it's 8 over 15. That means for every 15 feet that it moves horizontally, it goes up 8 feet. So if I were to go 15 feet that way, it'd go up 8 feet that way. 15 feet, 8 feet. And your line would be connected that way. So now, with that in mind, y equals mx plus b is called slope intercept. M is always a slope, and b is actually called the y-intercept, but we're going to focus on the slope. Now, all this means to do is solve for y. Once you have y by itself, then you know what the slope is. For example, y equals 7, x plus 9, that's the same as being in the form y equals mx plus b. And since slope is in front of the x when it's y equals, that means the slope is 7. No work at all involved. However, on question B, there is some work involved because it's not y equals. We need for the equation to be y equals. So, to do that, we got to use the process or the steps to isolate y, to get y by itself. Which means we need to get rid of this 2x first because it doesn't have a y. So since it's a positive 2x, I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. Keep that minus sign in front of the 8y. Now I'm going to write the x term first, which means I'm going to keep that negative in front of the 2x. And that 5 is a positive 5, so it's going to be plus 5. Now to get the y by itself, I'm going to divide every term by negative 8. Because when I do to one term, I do to all. Those will cancel, leaving the y that we want. That was the whole process, the whole purpose of this problem is to get the y by itself. And then we're going to think a negative divided by negative is a positive. 2 over 8 reduces down to 1 over 4. Now I'm going to write the x on the outside. I can put it on the side or on the top, but not on the bottom. Positive divided by negative is a negative, and then 5 over 8 doesn't reduce, so I'll leave it like that. Once I have it in y equals form, I know what the slope is automatically. It's the number in front of the x, which is 1/4. This is probably the most difficult one you're going to see, something like this. Now, intercepts. If you look at an xy plane, all intercepts are where they cross the x-axis, that's an x-intercept, and where it crosses the y-axis is called the y-intercept. So if I were to draw a line like this point would be the x-intercept, and this point would be the y-intercept. If I were to label that point, from the origin I go right 1, and then I don't go up or down, which means it stays at 0. That's this point. Now, this one, I don't go left or right, so I stay at 0, and then it goes down 2. So this y-intercept is 0, -2. So with that in mind, x-intercepts always have a y value of 0. And y-intercepts always have an x value of 0. And so, that's what this says right here. It gives you the directions on how to find the x and y-intercepts. To find x-intercepts, you have to y be 0 because you want to know what x is. To find the y-intercepts, you'll let x be 0 because you want to know what y is. So let's do this one by hand. So for the x-intercepts, we're going to let y be 0 because we need to know what x is. So we take our original problem and replace the y with 0. And when you do that, that 3 times 0 becomes 0, which means it goes away. We're left with 2x equals negative 12. Divide both sides by 2. And we get x equals negative 6. Therefore, the x-intercept is negative 6 comma 0. And now I want to find the y-intercept. Did you know I like to use this eraser? It's kind of fun. Now to find the y-intercepts, I got sidetracked just then. You want to let x be 0, because we need to know what y is. So we're going to take the equation. This is so much fun. You replace the x with a 0. I'm getting kind of slap happy. I'm talking to myself. 2 times 0 is 0, and 0 plus 3y is 3y equals negative 12. Divide both sides by 3 to find y, and we get y equals negative 4, which means that our y-intercept is 0 comma negative 4. Now if we want a graph, we just plot those 2 points. Negative 6, 0, since it is on the x-axis. We go left 6, put a dot there, and stop. 0, negative 4 is on the y-axis, so 0, negative 4 is down 4 from the origin, and connect the dots. And that's how you're done. Now you may be wondering, can I do that on my calculator? Well, that's a very good question. I'm glad you asked. Let me make some space here. And once again, I kind of like using this eraser. I like it a lot. I don't need very much space, so I'm about done erasing. So, watch this. Once again, like I did in the previous problem in this video, I'm going to solve for y. I'm going to subtract 2x. I'm not going to worry about how it's written. I'm going to divide by 3. We get y equals 4 minus 2/3 x. Turn on the calculator. Go to y equals, clear out anything you may have in there. Type in 4 minus 2 divided by 3. Don't forget your x. Graph it. We're looking for negative 6, 0, and 0, negative 4. Let's go to our table and just see what happens. There's 0, 4, and there's 6, 0. Oh, I made a mistake somewhere, didn't I? Oh, what was the mistake? Oh, good thing. Good thing. It's always a good thing to catch your own mistakes. See this negative 12? I didn't put that in there, which makes that 4 negative. So it just shows you. It doesn't hurt to always double check your answers. So, with that in mind, do you know how I can type in that negative 4 without having to type the whole thing over? If I hit, notice where I'm blinking. If I hit second delete, which is insert, I can type in just a negative 4 without having to type the whole thing in. Then hit graph. Okay, now let's look at the table. 0, negative 4. Yep. And I need to see if negative 6, 0. I'm looking for where the y equals 0. And by the way, when I look at my graph, I know it's where x is 0, where y is 0, I mean. It's somewhere over here. It looks like around 6 or negative 6. So let's keep on going, and there it is. You could also do this. When you hit trace, it automatically brings up the y-intercept. So that's one way to find the y-intercept. Do you want to find out how to find the x-intercept? By using your calculator. I'm going to show you. Now on the y-intercept, you just hit trace and it brings it up. Watch this. For the x-intercept, if I hit y equals and hit enter, and then 0, graph, y equals 0 is this horizontal line on the x-axis. So right now I've got the equation in, then I got y equals 0 in. Now I'm going to hit second trace, which is calculate. Then I'm going to hit number 5 for intersect. And then I'm going to move it using left and right arrow keys. To where I think the x-intercept is. Then we hit enter 3 times. See the intersection? That's negative 6, 0. That's the x-intercept. So there's another way. So type in their function or the equation, y equals equation, type in y equals 0, go to second trace, calculate, move, hit enter 3 times until you see the word intersection, and that's your X intercept.